If we sample data on child marriage on a global scale, we will understand that girls are more caught up in this practice than boys. This also means that they suffer the consequences of this practice more. In today's video, we will be talking about child marriage. Hello, welcome to the For Equality Initiative. My name is Gwani Solange, and if this is your first time here, make sure you hit the like button and don't forget to like this video and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any of our uploads. Before we move further, I want us to first understand what child marriage is. The meaning of child marriage is any case where a child younger than the age of 18 marries another child younger than the age of 18 or even older. Being considered as one of the expressions of inequalities in our societies, some of the main causes of this practice have been attributed to poverty. Because in some families where they experience hardship, giving their daughter out for marriage may reduce the number of people to take care of, like the number of mouths to feed, since one or two persons are no longer in that household. In some cases, the child willingly gives herself into marriage because she knows that she will become the responsibility of her husband. Feeding, shelter, and other basic needs will now be provided by her husband, unlike when she was single and had to struggle to fend for herself. In some cases, the family sees that marrying off their child will be very advantageous in boosting their economic well-being, as they tend to receive the bride price. In a case where the family is in debt, they see the dowry as open doors for clearing off their debts. In some cases, they give their child for free to the family they owe so that their debts can be cancelled. And in some communities where it is the girl's family that pays the bride price to the boy or the man's family, they get encouraged to go further with the union because in most cases, this type of bride price will be relatively small. Another cause of this practice is limited knowledge and education. Even though many girls and families have understood the importance of girl child education, some communities still believe that it is the boy child that deserves education, while the girl child has to stay at home, do the domestic chores, take care of the junior ones, and get married while they start menstruating. Also, conflicts and insecurities in war zones gives the girl child the impression that when she gets married, she will be protected. This is also because in some cases, these children are being raped or taken as slaves during conflict in these zones. So they tend to see marriage as a gateway to use in bypassing such acts. Let's not also forget that during conflict, displacement is a consequence. Families are separated, and when a child who has been separated meets an older man, in some cases, he uses marriage to blackmail the child. Forgive me to use the blackmail word, but in most cases, that is the impression. He does this by making the child to believe that after she must have married him, he will help her to search for the rest of her family members. In such cases, what will a lonely child do? Social and cultural norms are also an aspect that has been attributed as a cause of child marriage. Generally, in some communities, marrying early is a tradition. They don't have to consider the age. Once a girl child starts seeing her menses, she's considered ripe and ready for marriage. And once a boy child starts showing signs like having a deep voice, he is ripe too for marriage. In another scenario, since maybe past generations used to marry off their children early, everyone in the community sees it as a normal practice and just tend to continue with it as a tradition. And of course, there is no cause of something without impact or consequences. Child marriage has lots of negative impact, but I am actually going to dwell on the health impact. If there are health practitioners in the house, please do well to throw more light where I might have missed out, okay? The first thing is child marriage is a cause of obstetric fistula. the walls of the vagina of a young girl is obviously weaker than that of an adult. Take a case where a girl child marries and becomes pregnant. In the course of labor, she's trying to push out the baby. In most cases, obstruction occurs, which leads to the destruction of her vaginal tissue, coupled with her bladder and even her rectum. In some cases, the baby even tends to die as a result of this obstruction. And then the after effects of the child bride is that she will start to leak urine without control. I can imagine how painful and emotionally challenging it can be for a girl child to be leaking out urine without control. Another consequence of child marriage is mental health. It affects the mental health of the child bride. Imagine a child bride who gets married and is not psychologically ready for sexual activities or childbirth. If you sample a population of young girls who got married before 18, I bet you they will tell you that they were not mentally ready when they had their first sex with their spouse. Most don't even have knowledge at all on sexual and reproductive health, not to even talk of birth control. In most cases, it doesn't only end in the psychological trauma, it also leads to death from childbirth complications. Another aspect of the consequences of child marriage is HIV and AIDS and other STDs. In most cases, these child brides marry older partners who have been sexually active. So these children, in most cases, have limited or no knowledge about the risk factors, prevention, or even treatment of these STDs. They just engage in sexual activities ignorantly without understanding they are exposed to the high risks of having these diseases. In some cases, they are transmitted the human papilloma virus, which causes cancer. The next aspect is domestic violence. You know, in most cases where a girl child is being married off, she marries an older man. Imagine a child of 12 years getting married to a man in his 40s. And you know, in most remote areas, the girl does not have an opinion. In any case where she wants to voice out her feelings or her opinion, she gets beaten. In such cases, it leads to bruises, disabilities, or even death. So it is very important to address this issue of child marriage because it robs children of their human rights and also acts as an obstacle for the children to maximize their potentials. In our next video, we will be discussing on the various strategies we can implement to completely eradicate this practice in our communities. So before then, if you have any of such strategies, please do well to put it down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next video.